Well, we live, y'all. My guest is coming back. I press this is a beautiful entrance
Thanks.
that you all get to see here.
The roller derby.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to all new episode of the DTI Takeover Show here on Total Entertainment Radio. I am your girl, Miss Kayla. So y'all know I am here to spotlight another awesome entrepreneur and business owner. I have the honor and the pleasure to be sitting with today, Mr. Taqee Vernon, the owner or founder, if you want to call it, of Vendors Connect. How are you?
I'm hungry, but I'm all right. It's good to be hungry. It's good to be. It's good to have small complaints in the world. It's good to be alive, and so I'm good. I'm chilling.
You good. Okay. So Taki, let everybody know who you are.
Taqee from Detroit. 6 foot flat. You let me tell it.
You said
Uh,
let you tell it.
yeah, let me tell it. I'm six flat.
hmm
Probably more accurately like 11 and a quarter, 10 and
hmm
3/4. I don't know, but let me tell it. I'm six flat. Let my ID tell it I'm six flat. So
hmm
evidently that's important to me. I've lied about it enough. I mean, I've told the truth about it enough times. It must be important to me. So there's that. I don't know. I have a range of interests. One of them is golf. I like golf. That's something I don't get to do enough, or I don't take the time to do enough. And I don't know. I gotta tell me about me. I'm an Aquarius. To
Are
anyone,
you?
you can hear it in the way that I don't know how to describe myself and refuse to.
hmm
So yeah.
I'm familiar
Oh,
with your sign.
and of course, I'm representing my brothers, my friends, my mentors, my people, the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, around the world, around the globe, throughout the community. And so it's always a great opportunity to let people know that just because you only see the cues at parties,
hmm
that maybe you should diversify your understanding of who we are and how we move. So hopefully this gives everybody another example of who the cues are, and how we move and what we do.
I like that. I like that because y'all don't have the best reputation
I
on the
would, I
outside
would
looking
disagree. I think we don't have the best marketing department, but every time someone says, or I tell somebody I'm the cues, and they say something like, "Oh, y'all so this," I'll be like, "Excuse
in.
me," and they're like, "No, no, 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 no. I mean, y'all do this too," and I'll be like, "Yeah." So I think we got pretty solid reputations. We just
Yeah,
people just don't lead with that, and
they
it's
don't.
unfortunate. It's to our detriment, and it's to the not to the benefit of our community to not be aware of the type of people that they could have in their lives if they would come to events that weren't parties. So
I got you. I got you. So the reason why we here, Vendor Connect, right?
mhm.
I want you to share with everybody more about Vendor Connect. What is Vendor Connect? The purpose behind Vendor Connect.
So vendor connect. Jesus Christ! Oh God, I'm gonna obsess about this over the course of this interview. So everybody, just be ready for that. Fidget gang. But vendor connect is it literally is. It's one of the most literally named companies of all time. I started it a few years ago in
Mm-hmm.
order to connect vendors from events
Mm-hmm.
to events, and to connect people who were doing events to vendors. Um, Vendors tend to be entrepreneurs. I think about
Mm-hmm.
70, 80%. You go to a festival, you go to an event, there's someone doing food. Nine times out
Mm-hmm.
of 10, those people are independent at what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with a local events company out here when I was kind of in between. I wasn't even in between jobs. I think that was the last like full-time job I really had that wasn't related to the fact that I do vendor connect. And I just saw that people who throw events, vending tends to be an afterthought, a mandate, not something they care about. You go to a concert, they care about performers, they care about staging, lighting, sound, electricity, insurance. All those things are part of that bag. But I think securing vendors wasn't something they found enjoyable, or
Yeah.
securing licenses, working with cities, and risking
Mm-hmm.
get their event shut down because it wasn't properly licensed or whatever. It wasn't something a challenge they found fun. And so I do. I enjoy challenges of all types. I enjoy doing things that other people will admit are difficult or at least unsavory, and then
Mm-hmm.
finding, ease or creating ease. I enjoy both sides of it. Not just like a vanity mission to do something difficult, because frankly, I enjoy the easy life, which
Mm-hmm.
you asked me what I like. I said golf. Golf is
Yeah.
awesome. It's very chill. You can be bad at it and have a great time. You can be good at it and have a great time, whatever. But anyway, so I just found that there's this quote that a friend of mine put me hip to from Amelia Earhart, and it goes, "Don't do what others can do and will do when there are things that others cannot do or will not do." And
Mm.
vendor is kind of my thing that either people can't do or don't want to do, and so that's what I chose to focus in.
And that's what you chose to focus in.
Well,
So when you're connecting
mhm,
vendors, individuals who are having events or the other way around,
mhm.
like what does that process look like? So do people just come to you and say, hey, do you know some people? Do you know X, Y, and Z? I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. Is that how that works?
Yeah, literally, quite literally, quite literally. That's really how most of those conversations go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I said, the naming of the thing was so important to me because if you name something properly, or I won't even say proper. There's no proper improper. Excuse me to everybody, but there's a way of naming a thing where it kind of creates its own action. I like to use verbs and adjectives in my names of things. So
Okay.
it's literally like connect is a verb, like vendor connect. So when a person thinks like, oh man, I need to get connected to vendors, who do I talk to? Like, let's
Connect.
spin our wheels about this. Let's think about it.
Hmm.
Let me go call mobile event super specialist amazing, right? Like, oh yeah, like, but do they have vendors? I don't know. They might have a trillion vendors. They might have all the vendors, but a vendor connect probably has a vendor and can probably connect you to it. So yeah, people call me. A lot of word of mouth, a lot of you did this, did you do that, can you do this? A lot of I get a lot of random text messages, a couple emails, and people would just say, hey, I heard you do vendors. I'm looking for vendors. You got these vendors, and
Hmm.
so coming off of that, I keep a list,
Okay.
a free list to subscribe to. Super easy Google form, really short. I went to school for marketing, so I try to keep everything pretty simple. I told you I was gonna fidget the whole interview. It's going to happen. I refuse.
I mean, you said it already. It's all right.
My camera is mirrored, so I keep thinking, when I see this one messed
Yep,
up,
it's the other
it's the other one. So it's
side.
like I got to do it twice now. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just look at this. It's hideous, but whatever. I'm not T-shirt Connect. I'm not button Connect. My buttons are separated quite often. So, but anyway, yeah, that's really how people do. I intend to add you to that list because I know a lot of people who could use some affordable interviewing. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a really great content opportunity, very accessible. I watched a couple of your interviews and I'm like, yeah, this is a solid product that I think more people should take advantage of. So
I love that.
get connected.
Appreciate that. We appreciate that. So, when you come across these people, like, I guess, how do you select the vendors? How do you select the vendors? Like, these are just a list of people that you already have, or do you go to other events and you find these people?
Both. I love events. I created a company that accents a lifestyle that I enjoy. Like I said, it came off of like after me losing my last full-time job, and it was a cycle. I've had a couple, corporate jobs based off of my education, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes based off of my personality. Some people like being around me, so they put me in positions. But then once you get in the position, they try to the like contain your personality. It's like they like the vibe, but they don't like the process of the
Yeah.
vibe. Like you know, go together. We go together.
Right. You can't separate it.
Yeah, you can't. That one produces the other. It's joy,
Right.
pure joy allows me to do my work. So I'll go to an event, I'll see a vendor that I think is dope or
Mhm.
cool or think is missing. Like, I'm not strategic, like, oh, I need this many of this vendor
Mhm.
and then this, and then if I do that. But I'm strategic in the sense that I know that everybody eats, every event needs food. So if I go to an event and someone has good food, I'll be like, yo, you want to get on my list? I know more people who would love your food, and then
That's it.
I try to diversify, So like, there's a vendor who used to be on my list. I purged my list recently.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry guys, y'all wasn't picking up the phone enough, but
Okay.
yeah, look, it's free. It's free. You know what I'm saying? And when you do something for free, then people have an option to opt in out as they want to. But anyway,
Mhm.
there's a vendor and he makes like this like specialty honey, like batch honey. Like I had one, it was like this blueberry plum honey.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was like you could, and it was in these cute little, like instead of the teddy bear thing or in the
Mhm.
bottle, it was in this cute little 4-ounce teddy bear thing. So it was like $5, and I would literally start my day, just put a little dab on my finger, and mwah, delicious, amazing. And I'm like, I'm not the only person who likes honey, and I'm not the only person who likes delicious. Like,
Right. Right.
a part of me likes to, some people come with very specific requests.
Mhm.
Like it might be a festival saluting, let's go Black women entrepreneurs.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's like they might not just need food, they might need food, right? And a DJ and what else? What else fits in? Apparel is pretty easy in that category. But it's
Mhm.
like they're like, oh, it's for Black women. We really wish it was all Black women, but we can't find any food. So can you do it? And I'm like, yo, like I got like 7 amazing Black women caterers. Like, which one
Mhm.
do you want? One of them makes barbecue. One of them does this. One of them, like, you get
Mhm.
options, and they like, oh snap. So I try to keep it pretty diverse
Okay.
in that regard, so I can so I can field very, very, very specific requests, because that I find, like I said, I like solving obscure challenges. So that's kind
Okay.
of, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, where do you see Vendor Connect 5 years from now? Like, what's the goal? What's the plan?
Do I strike? I just zipped in here on a wheelie. I didn't even know what chair I was gonna sit in. Do I strike you as a man with a plan? You know,
No, you sound like you just kind of really just kind of go with flow things and let things happen and see how they happen and whatever happens happens. To be
I
honest.
never, I never, I never even could have seen this coming. I've been doing this 3 years now.
Okay.
It started in March. Well, unofficially, it hmm, hmm. I began this journey
Mhm.
March of 2021, when one of my good friends and mentors, and friend tours, I call them friend tours. But one of my good friend tours could use some help with an event they were throwing.
Mhm.
It happened that the help they needed was answering DMs, right? Like people just asking about the event, asking about what time is it, where is it, how much is the tickets, where are the tickets, responding to comments on Facebook and stuff.
Mhm.
And that was it. It was like just I didn't want to start a new job coming off my last job, go floating resumes and acting like I wanted to work for somebody who I didn't like. I just didn't. Who didn't like
I
me.
got you.
I was like, let me just stay outside a little bit. And so I was doing that. And then eventually that request turned into, hey, there's like, they were booking artists inside of those DMs. So it was like, hey, if you can close these artists, like they want to perform, they're ready to pay. If you can close them, we'll give you a commission on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like 10,
Mhm.
20. And it was like, okay, cool. I'm making $15 an hour, 20 hours a week. But there's this extra here. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like whatever. Like I got decent people skills. I come from a sales and marketing background.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
always a plus.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. I can do that. I can field those. And then eventually the artist was like, well, shoot, like it's some vendors in there too. That's a
Mm.
bit of a higher ticket. It's an
Yeah.
artist might be like $100. The vendors were like $500. So even with the same percentage, it was like I just 5x my income. And it was like, can you do the vendors? It was like, sure, like whatever. I'm already here. And then I just noticed, you know what I mean? Like the artist part was more of a handoff, right? It was like, get them in, make sure, transact the transaction and then get them over into the artist management people. And
Mm-hmm.
the artist management people existed because who doesn't like managing artists, right?
Right.
The vendor management people did not exist. So
Mm.
like, okay, like we lock them in, and then my friend Tor was the de facto vendor management person. So I was kind of like his assistant at
Mm-hmm.
that event. And then it was like, shite, like you did a great job. We made some good money. And you seemed to, I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah. They were like, we got another event coming up. That's really not how it happened. And it's funny because we started just saying to not do an origin, but I like the way that this is going. So shout out to you. Um, you're not slick, but I like it. I like you. You're not slick, but you slick though. But and I don't think anyone's ever asked it like this anyway. So, um, but it was supposed to be this one event because of the timing in 2021. That event got postponed, right? Because it wasn't post pandemic yet. It was still like,
Like we know it, but we don't like
no, no. It was like, if y'all do this, you're breaking the law,
oh
and so we
post
did do it.
pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't
So it was like, okay,
do
but it was
it.
like, it's March 2021, so it was like the event was like April, and it was like, nah. But we had
Oh, so
they
this
had
is
another,
they're still fresh.
yeah, yeah. So they had another event
Mm.
scheduled at the end of May that got cleared. So that was ended up being the first event. But then what would have been the first event became the second event. It was like, well, you did that one, you want to just roll right into the next one. And so I did that one, and it went great again. And we made it was a bigger event, so it was more money involved, and a little more. I got to show off more of my skill set because I wasn't doing the DMs part as much anymore. It was just full on vendor. Then I became the vendor guy. You know what I'm saying? Call the vendor guy. It's like, he's the vendor guy. Call the vendor guy. Are you the vendor guy? And then it was like, by the third event, I was like, well, if I'm gonna be doing this, like everybody around me has a brand, as a name. It's like part of the vibe. It's like, I'm the vendor guy, but you're not the artist guy. You're, you're such and such.
Right. So what am I?
You're not the promo guy. You're such and such. But I was like, I might as well. So by like the third event, I just was like, what would be a cool name? I literally got on Photoshop and did this in like 5 minutes, made a little logo for it. Let me see if I can show the logo, I guess. Like, so you can really see the 5 minutes of it. Like,
So you can
it's very five
really
minutes.
the
Where
5 minutes of it.
Yeah, here's the logo. If you can,
Yeah.
it was no time at all on Photoshop. It was like, okay, make it kind of look like a tent. Try
Hmm.
to put the letters in there, and that's like, I had a graphic design background, and so it was like, kind of make it like, but it's like Target's logo is a circle. Just don't overdo it.
It is.
Yeah, so it was like bet, and thus Vendor Connect was born. Who's that? It's the Vendor Connect, and yeah,
That's the vendor connect. So you're not just a vendor guy no more.
proper noun status. Go you.
Your vendor connect. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. I think it's great what you're doing. Because in dealing with vendors and securing vendors is not necessarily an easy feat necessarily. And it sometimes being one who has done that on this end as well for events that we have with our station that we are part of, it can be challenging sometimes. But it's nice to know I got a vendor connect and I can be like, hey,
But that's why I see. That's why I try to tell you to not start at the beginning, because it has changed so much that booking vendors is now one of the smallest parts of what I'm doing now, to the point
mm-hmm,
where, like, I'm trying to recreate the story I just told. Like, I
mm-hmm,
need people to do the bookings because I feel like I'm like not supporting the vendors in that way. Like, it used to be scale,
yeah,
20, 30 at a time. So it was like, okay, bet y'all are, we gonna get a hella opportunities. Now it's like I work with a few of them very, very closely.
mm-hmm,
Uh, I get calls and emails that I can't respond to because now I'm more in event consulting and placemaking and
I got you.
local government and nonprofit. I'm in the office of the nonprofit I work at that contracted Vendor Connect full time.
Oh,
And
that's
so, yeah,
amazing.
thank you. So now it's more so like tending the garden, right? Like preparing the soil, networking, spreading the gospel of small business support, and kind of using the skills that we've developed with Vendor Connect over the years
Mm-hmm.
to kind of create a place where we can get people into bigger rooms and bigger venues.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of I've heard some stories from vendors about things that we've been able to help them do, and I just was never aware of it.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I wasn't aware of the scale of what was going on. I don't focus on that. It was always just point to point, just do something good, get some extra money in somebody's pocket.
Right,
I
right.
think, I think it costs about $100 a day to live a decent life. You know what I mean? If you can after taxes have or spend about $100 a day, then life is pretty cool in that budget range for an individual. So for me, it was like that's how I built my entrepreneurial freedom. I was like, shoot, if I had a job and every 2 weeks, I was getting like $800-900 and it was a decent job. Um, then I was like, okay, you break that down. It's 10 days on a paycheck or 15 days on a paycheck. That's 75 to $100 a day. Okay, bet. Like as a graphic designer, I was like, shoot, I'm getting about 200 per design. That means if I can do was it 3 designs a week on average, then I can replace the job I just left. All right, bet. Let's work on that. Grinded that out, and then it was and now I try to do that for other people. So just buy a day, buy an afternoon. You know what I mean? Like if I can get you, that means if I can get you $75, then you can tell your boss you're not coming in until 12 o'clock. You can get some good sleep that day, or if do the opposite, you can tell your boss, "Yo, I gotta leave early today. I gotta pick up my niece or spend time with such and such, or just go fucking breathe." You
Hmm.
know, and now
Hmm.
you just bought back a little bit of your time. So I don't have any full-time staff or anything like that, but I feel like I've bought some people some afternoons and bought some people some days, and that
That's
feels
good.
good to me. So
That is great. That is great. Can you let everyone know how they can follow you on your social media, how they can get in contact with you for your services?
well, here's the thing, guys. Like I said, I'm really, really bad at the vendor booking part right now. But I won't be. One day, probably pretty soon. One day, probably pretty soon, we'll have the machine back in place to where being on my list will feel like it did a year or two ago, where every week or every month at least I was in people's DMs like, yo, we got this coming up. So if you have some patience and I'll never promise to replace your machine. I might get you an event a month, maybe, I might get you an event in the year. But if you're not on the list, I can't get you anything ever because I prioritize people who have taken the time to get on the list. Um, so if you go to there we go. This is the first time I use the right hand too. If you go to this vendor at Vendor Connect on Instagram, that's with a Q, not a C. I don't know why, people have a hard time with that. It's one Q, not two Q. C right there, but it's just Vendor Connect. And if you go to the Instagram link in bio, then it's a button that says join the vendor list. It's a really quick Google form. It just asks for your contact information, the type of it's a multiple choice. Okay, the type of events you want to do, a brief description of your products or services. If you have multiple businesses, do not put them all on one line. If your business does a bunch of things that don't relate to each other, like if you are a mobile bar and a full caterer, then do it twice, once for the mobile bar and once for the catering. Because when I'm looking through it, it's categories. So when someone says I want food, I just go to food and say, food. Okay, there you go. If someone says mobile bar and you put food and you put I'm a food and a mobile bar, I'm sorry, you did that. If I notice it, I'm a nice enough guy that I will fix it. You know what I'm saying? But some, is that what you want to depend on? Do I sound like a person
You
who's
know what?
that soon enough for it to matter?
We're, I'm not going to answer that question.
The answer is no. There's not multiple on that one. I'm not. I'll catch it when I see it, and that's if we work together. You know what I'm saying? Like it allows me to kind of get a familiarity with people, and so just do that. Go to at Vendor Connect on Instagram. Oh no, my bad. I have a website now, vqdetroit.com, and the button's at the very top of the web page. Um, So yeah, join up and we'll call you when someone asks for you.
All right. Well, sounds simple enough to me.
See,
Thank
it's so
you.
simple.
I would
It's
say it sounds very simple.
pqdetroit.com. There you go.
I put it in the comments for everybody. Well, thank you, Taki, for being a guest with us today on our show. It
We
was
still got 5 minutes to talk about.
what?
Oh, I was late. Is that what it is? I was late. You're right. All right, fine, that's fair. We're gonna do another one anyway. I'm gonna do another one with you.
He already done said it, so he'll be back here, y'all, with on Total Entertainment Radio. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with the
Is there
vendor.
a comment section?
There is, well, on my end,
Oh, where? Oh no, I got the full screen on. They
you
ain't
got
asking questions or nothing, did they?
no,
Okay, cool. Cool, cool.
no, no.
Let's see. All right, if I did a closing statement, it would be to all my independent vendors. I would say we mostly work out of Detroit. I don't know if I made that clear. We do go around and we work a lot of places that have shocked me. I'm continually surprised by the reach. I find that more people out of the city refuse to work in Detroit than Detroit refuses to work out of the city. So if you are out of the city, I don't know if it's because it's a black city or if it's because you don't think people in Detroit got money. But if you're willing to pull up, then please do. If I send you a message a couple of times and I notice you never respond, I just delete it. I just deleted it. God bless you. You obviously don't want to work with me or black people or Detroit or
You
something.
know,
And I'm not wasting nobody's data on that. So please, enter at your own discretion. And yeah, it'd be nice to see y'all around. And there we go. I ain't gonna steal none of the minutes. I'm sorry.
you good. You good. Y'all make sure y'all continue to follow Total Entertainment Radio as well. Follow us on Facebook at Total Entertainment Radio. Check out the station. Go to www.totalentradio.com. Hit that TR radio button. Listen to the station. Listen to our shows. Let us know what you think. Follow us on Instagram at the Total ENT Experience as well. Until next time, y'all, it's your girl Miss Kayla, and I'm signing out for the day.
And God bless the Qs and their guests. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. See y'all.